Welcome back to Road to Undisputed. I'm, of course, joined by the heavyweight champ, AJ. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This could be the last step on the road to Undisputed. The last time we did this, it was December 2019.
Wow.
Time has flown.
Wow.
We obviously had a worldwide pandemic. How was it for you? You know, I feel like you obviously had to kind of sit on the sidelines for a little bit after beating Andy Ruiz, whilst kind of the smoke cleared for the world of boxing.
So 2019 was a double whammy for me. Lost my belts, got my belts back, and it's good to have that confidence to get straight back in there and get back up to speed with things, you know. So that set me up for the pandemic in the sense of I claim what's mine and I can start planning ahead. The pandemic hit everyone. For like the amount of years I've been alive on this earth, I've lived a certain lifestyle, free as a bird. Yeah. And then I was told I can't do certain things, so that was new to me. But at the same time, it gave me a lot of time to reevaluate my situation, my lifestyle I was living before, friends I was keeping, and stuff like that. And it was good because I connected with a lot of my friends from school, a lot of my friends I grew up with from Watford, a lot of my friends in London, because I wasn't so busy working all the time. So I had to, a couple months to reconnect with people, and then it was like, boom, I can just train like an athlete now. I haven't got to worry about promoting like boxing or anything at the minute. It's just like, spend as much time as possible training. So it was like a real good time to keep everything in balance. And
it's probably a time when you were going through, not necessarily a transition in your style, but definitely adding and changing a couple of other things that you do inside the gym and what you bring into the ring. Did it give you more time to make adjustments?
Look, I'm forever falling in love with this sport of boxing. I'm so passionate about it. I know I'm ordained to do it. I'm destined to do it. And I have to improve. I have to do certain things that I want to do, and I have to trust my own instincts. I come into boxing early. I dominated the amateurs. I turned pro. I dominated the pros within 3 years, and then I became champion. And we've been on the road to Undisputed together. Me, JD, and the team have been on the roads, you know, collecting belts after belts after belt after belt, and we've got one more to go. And because I fall in love with the sport, I study different trainers, I study different fighters, I work with different trainers, and I'm just forever evolving. I'm not satisfied, and that's why you always see new elements of my game.
Your mandatory was obviously Kubrat Pulev, who, for a lot of casuals, they may not have known who he was or not know too much about him, but in boxing
again as well.
But in boxing, he's respected. You know, he's a tough cookie. He really is. Yeah. Did you see it as a fight where it was almost you were in a no-win situation, because if you do win, you're expected to win?
It's not so much like a no-win situation, because I have to win. Yeah. Kubrat Pulev, he may have been an unknown entity for some, but for those who know. Yeah, he was a mandatory challenger, someone I had to face. So, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Yeah. You know, I lose the belt. If I don't face him, they're going to take the belt off me. And do I want to fight Kubrat Pulev? No, I'd love a soft touch. You know, I've been fighting tough guys ever since I went into boxing, or so-called tough guys ever since I stepped into boxing. So a soft touch would have been good, but at the end of the day, I want to defend what's mine. Yeah. And it's just like, you know, Pulev, let me defend what's mine, keep what's mine, and now everyone wants to know what's happening next, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that, 100%. Okay, cool. Kubrat Pulev, obviously, in the build-up was, let's call it being the bad guy, trying to get under your skin a little bit. Could you sense that? Did you expect that?
It's just part and parcel of the game, yeah, and I respect it because it's part of the art of war, psychological warfare, they call it, because, you know, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But I'm built different. It's hard to break my armor. But I do truly believe that once you're in the ring and I start finding my feet and start doing what I need to do, no matter what you tell yourself, your body just can't stand it. Yeah. So I believe that the talk was good. It was part of like hyping the fight. Whether it is or he's being true to himself, he says what he has to say. But I just think when I do my talking in the ring, not many have been able to withstand the blows that I give out. And, you know, I would have loved to have been fighting, like, you know, bring Mike Tyson back and let me fight him. These are names that the world knows. Bring Muhammad Ali back, bring Lennox Lewis back. But unfortunately, I've got to fight the guys in front of me. And these are the names that are in front of me, and I've fought. And I've boxed everyone in like the top 10, top 15, back to back, time and time again. And they're supposed to be tough challengers, but they're all gonna fall. They're all gonna fall. And I truly believe it now. This year I'm going in with full chest. I back myself. I've taken myself on that road, and the road don't stop at Undisputed. You know, once we conquer the world, we want to conquer the universe.
Well, you're gonna beat Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos and his army. Like,
that's a big fight.
Yeah, it's a big fight. That's what I'm saying. So for everyone, the road to Undisputed is bigger than that. Win it, protect it, defend it, and teach the next generation how to do it.
We've almost done a full episode already. We haven't even started the first round.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get into it.
First observation I saw is that he was, you know, just when the ring announcers, they're calling your names out.
Yeah.
He almost didn't take a stare off you. You know, he stayed on you. He tried to make it quite intense.
Yeah. So I have like certain friends in the industry that know certain thing about people's training camp. Mm-hmm. And so for this training camp, he had brought in a really high-tech nutritionist who's very good with dietary requirements. Mm-hmm. And he had brought in some real talented sparring partners. He also brought in his American coach as well, because he obviously knew that he was going to be in with someone with a different style. Mm-hmm. So what they were saying is that he's taking this camp very serious. And, you know, sometimes it's easy for me to look at people and just think, I'm going to blitz this guy. Mm-hmm. But also, when I have certain piece of information, I have to take him seriously as well. So Pulev has one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. Textbook European style, really good jab. And someone said, all right, if you can take his jab away, that will show me an indication that you've done really well and you train well. So that was my initial tactic, was to take his confidence away, that like, looking at me and taking his eyes off me by taking away his best weapon.
And immediately you kind of went jab for jab and you were winning that battle immediately. There was like I noticed it straight away that there was like a really nice kind of fluid shape where it almost felt almost quite Roy Jonesy at times, where he was pouring a little bit.
I'll take that. Look, for years when I've been boxing, you know, I've got so much to lose. Every time I've stepped in the ring, it's never been a build-up situation where it's like, you know, we're going to build this kid for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Even in the amateurs, it was never like building. Like, I was amateur 3.5 years, and it was just like straight in the deep end. So I've always done what I've had to do. I've never wanted to do any skillful stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's too much pressure to be doing all this like step overs and all that. Bro, everyone's looking at me. Score goals, and we're going to talk about in football. Yeah. Everyone wants me to score goals, and that's all that matters. Yeah. Stat, score. Big, strong, stick to that. And it worked for so many years. It worked, and then I was like, I've also got so much more I can add to my game. Mm-hmm. You know, so much more, and that's why in this fight I just thought, you know what? Let me just do some of the things I've been practicing and trying to bring out. It's going to get more and more natural, you know, the more I practice. So it was quite hard to land the 1-2. So I just thought, let me just continue doing what I'm doing and landing my clean shots. Whichever shot's working, stick to that, and it's going to bring success. And that was how I felt going into the second round.
It feels, or it looks like, quite at this point, still quite a thinking man's fight. But you start to open up there, and he smiles back, usually an indicator of, all right, something's landed.
Yeah. So little 5-punch combo there, back to basics now. Defending that lead hand I was talking about, little touches, rangefinders.
Was relaxation a big part of this fight? Because it seemed like every time he tried to attack, you looked really cool. You know, you kept your cool. You kind of knew where your shape should be and what position you should be in.
I give that down to the relaxation comes from tough preparation. You know, I thank my sparring partners for trying to bring the heat throughout the rounds upon rounds we do every week. And that's why, like, you should never be afraid to fail or never be afraid to go through tough times, because when you need it, it will all come to fruition. So the reason why I can look relaxed here isn't because I have had life easy in the gym. It's because I've been being pushed and mentally challenged. So now we're on what some will call a big stage. I can look relaxed, but I feel like for me, I look forward to getting back to training. I fight to train, so I can get this fight out of the way and get back to training. Some people train to fight, so they train 8 weeks and then fight and then they're done. I fight, get out of the way, so I can train again.
I mean, going into this
I'm
fight,
looking at this boy like,
you could see the bad blood. As you went back to your corner there, I'm not going to take any credit for it, but I definitely said, I guarantee that you get to him in this round.
Why did you say that?
I felt like you had had a look.
Okay.
He had tried to close the distance a couple of times, but your feet were too fast. You got out of there, you were relaxed. I just had a feeling, and you had started to open up. There was a few punches that you threw in round 2, where it was a bit of this is it here. You whipping the uppercut eventually, yeah. And I mean, it was probably just a balance thing, but I saw the left leg slightly go on Pulev.
I didn't notice. I felt like he could take a good punch.
He can.
I felt like he could take a good punch. Even in the Klitschko fight, he kept on getting up. Also, I like the fact that that Pulev didn't sit down during the rounds. That warrior thing is that, I don't like to sit down.
He's a tough guy.
He's one of the tough guys. I like them type of guys. I want to fight these guys. I like that mindset.
So in terms of your game plan, there wasn't necessarily one where, all right, I'm going to have a look for a couple of rounds and then I'm going to have a go. It's kind of, I'm going to see it as it comes.
Fight to win.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have no game plan. I just fight to win.
Mm-hmm. Big right hand over the jab. Right hand, left hand, right hand. You're all over him.
No, I feel like I'm outside.
And there you go. And there comes he's got a bit of bravado there. It doesn't last too long because you're still all over him.
This is like being at JD and they won't take my trainers back. This is it now. Hey, what'd you say, mate? Take my trainers back.
Left hand, right hand. I mean, he's tough because he's staying in there. But
I rate him.
It's a lot of volume. Oh, that uppercut.
And you know what I was saying as well? Look, wow, that's
and he turns his back.
Oh yeah. So I really wanted to hurt him when that last one when you ran off. What I liked is that I reflected on my experience in the Klitschko fight. Mm-hmm. This is like a, what do they call it this is a predator and a prey.
Big uppercut again.
Yeah, we swipe the prey here, and we're not gonna let him get away.
Yeah. This
is my meal. I need to catch it. But also at the same time, from previous times we've gone to war, I know I've got to be clever. I can't use all my energy at the same time because this is a 12-round fight. And this is championship fighting. So these guys are hungry. Remember, he's trained well.
You put him down twice at this point.
I thought this is it.
It looks like it's it.
What was you like?
I thought it's it, but I was also looking at the clock. I thought 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, he's gonna maybe.
He'll make it. Yeah, how well can he recover inside that minute? That's what I was thinking. But so far, and then you gave it straight back. I love that. Made it back to his corner somehow, and then are you thinking at this point go after him? Or are you thinking have a look?
This is a great question because this is where you asked earlier, is it a thinking man's game? And this is where you have to think. It's a crucial time where you have to make a crucial decision. And this is when I realized this is chess, not checkers. My next moves are vital in setting up, capturing the kingdom, putting him in a checkmate position. So you're reading body language, instinct, breath, the aura. He wasn't ready to go.
He wasn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was still too stubborn at that point.
Too stubborn still. And you have to analyze. You're downloading all these different pieces of information. He wasn't ready to be in checkmate yet, so we're still playing the game, moving our pawns.
Would the AJ of a few years ago
100%
gone after him?
Would it have been the right thing to do against someone as experienced as him?
Exactly.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Don't get me wrong. I'm still trying to hit him to hurt him, but there's not a barrage of. I've gone back to throwing maybe 50 to 60 punches around rather than 80 to 100.
Do you think that the Ruiz fight taught you that?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest here. The first Ruiz fight, I know that wasn't me. You could see in the ring walk and me standing in the ring that wasn't me. The Klitschko fight taught me that.
Okay.
I took Klitschko down in the 5th round, and being so inexperienced but having a killer instinct, I really use a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And, you know, when Klitschko hit me with that right hand, it's not that it hurt. I just had nothing left in the tank, yeah. It's like coming home after a long day and all you want to do is lie in your bed. Yeah. It's like I had nothing left. So it would have been very silly of me to go back to the man of a few years ago and make those same mistakes. If you was asking, did I learn from the Ruiz situation, when I hurt him in the third round, I wouldn't have gone in.
Yes, that's what I meant, yeah.
So I went straight in.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah. So you went straight in.
So that means that I'm still the same guy.
Yeah. But you're still obviously very wary of him being alive. He's still there.
Like when Klitschko dropped in that fight, even when Ruiz dropped, they're still alive. So there is that element of thought process.
End of round 4. It's been a less active round, I guess, in terms of it's gone back.
This is like back to round 1 or 2. Back to feeling out. Looking for that big 1-2 there.
He throws a right hand. Probably for the first time in a long time, you know. So
correct.
You got out of the way nice and easily, but it lets you know that he's feeling confident enough to let his backhand go.
Correct, because when you're throwing, you have to remember something's coming back. So even though we hurt him in the round before, as you said there, he's still confident enough to risk that. Yeah. So you can see he's still full of energy right now.
End of the round. Do you go back thinking anything specific? Can you remember what you was feeling at this point?
Like, well done, very mature, very smart move. Like, you know, I had a choice, a real important choice to make there is, what do I do in this situation? Do I go back and do all of this again in round 4? Or do I land a shot that gets him to this point? And I thought, let me land the shot again. And it just didn't come in round 4. So I went back to, you know, trying to put him in a position where I could land these type of punches.
Round 5, it looks like he wants to negotiate the center of the ring.
100. Which is good because as a big man like myself, it's nice to be able to box on the back foot.
Yeah.
You see me go forward in round 3, and now you see me box on the back foot as well. So this is an element of what's AJ like under a bit of pressure. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it was nice to be on the back foot as well. Different element to the game.
Yeah. Still land a couple of bombs there and get on the inside. That's a feature I've seen that has come on in your game as well. You know, inside fighting on the inside, people assume that because you're big and you're 6'6" and that every fight has to be one on the outside. But
yes, box at range, box. You know, use your reach. Nah, man, I have to fight to win. Yeah. You know, so for me it doesn't really matter. A little 1-2 there he caught me with.
Yeah, he caught you and you talked. Do you remember what you said?
You
might have been like nice 1-2 or something like that.
Probably,
you acknowledged it.
Yeah. I give him his due. It took him 5 rounds, but he got there in the end.
Did. It's about time. But you seem just completely unfazed. At this point, are you still comfy?
Yeah, bro. Definitely still comfy. I can hear Mayweather. You know, step my tongue out at him there. Yeah. Coach goes back to the corner, giving me good instructions. It's a championship fight. It's a great feeling. Like, it's not easy. Mm-hmm. You know, the gyms would be full if it was. It's definitely not easy, but it's a great feeling that, you know, the pressure I'm under and the feeling I'm feeling is the feeling of victory. Yeah. So I just got to stay on course to go through this pain, stay on course to the road to undisputed and just enjoy the moment.
Round 6. It looks to me at this point like you are still fresh as a daisy and Kubrat is beginning to feel the pace a little bit.
Yeah. The pace does pick up.
Can you see it, feel it, hear it when your opponent starts to fade, even just at the beginning?
Definitely, there's been times when I can see that there's a wounded animal in front of me. But with respect to Pulev, he did prepare well. He was well conditioned. Yeah, he's huffing and puffing a bit, but he was still very aware. Yeah. Look, he's still throwing big 1-2s and punching around the back of the head. So that's enough to show me that he's still there to have a good fight.
Controlling it with a jab, getting your right hand off. Thus far, pretty much a flawless performance, I'd say.
So far, yeah, this is what we're trying to do. There's defining fights and there's defining performances. I believe that this wasn't a fight where I get knocked down 10 times and he gets knocked down 10 times. That's like a defining fight. In terms of performance, as you said, it's about having flawless performances where you display the art of boxing. You hit, you don't get hit, and that's what makes a great, complete fighter.
Seeing a replay here.
See, that was
Beautiful.
nice.
Beautiful pivot off.
I want to bring these elements to the heavyweight division now. Shouldn't only be seen in like the welterweights and these guys doing these type of tricks. I want to bring it to the heavyweight division as well. You know, just looking for opportunities and openings. That's probably what it is. Remember I said it's hard to get a straight 1-2 on his jaw.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I'm coming up here as well now, because I can't go through there. So I'm coming up here. It's hard to land the jab sometimes, so I'm stabbing it to the body. So I'm just trying to create new openings.
Is there ever a point in a fight where you almost, not necessarily accept, but it looks like this is going to go the distance? Should I, take less risk in terms of letting my hands go?
There's only 2 fights when I've said that. Joseph Parker and Andrew Ruiz too. When I've said to myself, this fight, I'm taking it the distance. Yeah. And I've consciously said that to myself. The first one with Joseph Parker, everyone says I can't go 12 rounds. I'm unfit. Everyone's game plan was take AJ to the later rounds, he's going to guess. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to show this guy I can go 12 rounds. So that was that. I went 12 rounds with him. I wanted to kind of silence my critics. Ruiz 2, there was a strategy in place where it was box. When I watched Joe Louis versus 2-ton Tony Galento, he boxed and moved well. You don't really box into someone's strengths, so we took away a lot of his strengths and we stayed on the outside of the ring. We maneuvered well, that float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type of element. We tried to bring that to that fight, which was a 12-round fight. So we got that decision. But honestly, now in this fight, even though the rounds are going and it's looking like, right, is AJ going to let this go 12 rounds? I knew I was going to get to him.
Okay.
I knew I was going to get to him. And that's maybe where the confidence comes, where it's like, I don't have to rush and swing bombs at him in like round 4 or round 7 or wherever. I just felt like the opportunity will come, and when it presents itself, I'll take it again.
Going into round 8, I believe. Is this 8?
This is round 8, yeah. He's still searching.
He's having a look, but he's had little to no success
When you
throughout
watch
the whole
it, you're
fight.
right. Yeah.
How many times have you watched this?
We've done our analyst, so about... You see what I said there?
What'd you say?
I know what I said there. Rewind it. I watched it probably like 4 times now. So he hit me to the body, I hit him with an uppercut. I said, don't do it to me. And I called him a pussy.
But yeah, look, I feel like that's kind of how you have to meet Kubrat Pulev, because he has almost got like a bully element to him where he wants to get on top of you.
As I said, you don't know much about Pulev, so I went back and I watched like his little weigh-in with Vladimir Klitschko, and he was trying to do the same tactics from the weigh-in. In their fight with Kubrat Pulev, Vladimir and Kubrat Pulev, you can see he was trying to be the dominant player in the ring as well. So he's got that element to him. Yeah. But where you don't know much about him, not many interviews, speaks different language, lives in a different country, you're not going to know. You have to do your research. So it was nice to see and for him to come game, because it made him a good fight.
Into the final round we go.
Let's go, champ. I didn't know it was going to be this round. I didn't know that the knockout was coming in this round. But I'm happy it did. You know, it was going to come and it finally came.
So he comes out, meets you at the middle of the ring again. Throws a couple of... He's copying you now, trying to go downstairs.
That's true. Rangefinders, looking at the range. Still looking, there you go, little head movement, jab.
Beautiful jabs, look at that.
And if you watch his other fights, he goes 1-2 jab. Yeah, he's not really like a 1-2 finish or a 1-2 hook. When I put my hand up there, I could hear Mayweather, jab, champ. That's when I kind of I acknowledge you.
So you're pouring the jab, almost wanting a reaction from him so that you could counter his shot.
Yeah, because it's like I wanted to counter punch him. It was weird.
Probably landed more jabs this round than he landed punches the whole fight. Setting it up.
changing the height, going to tall, going to low.
They say the jab is the most important shot in boxing.
Yeah. So I tried that counter punch, made him slip, uppercut, wasn't successful. But they're very devastating punches when you kind of make someone miss and you land your shot. So back to head movement a bit.
Yeah.
He's obviously thinking I need to take him out. So this is where they think, oh, it's the later rounds. He's tired. They're probably telling him, go, 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 now. He's tired, but little do they know. Boom, boom, boom.
4! Oh, 4 in a row. There we go, a couple of jabs.
Stab to the body, see his reaction. Remember, this is chest. Let's have a look. Boom.
Oh, another uppercut, and he felt, there we go. Left hand, right hand, he's all over the place.
That's it.
Finally, we get there.
But even now,
at this point, are you looking at him and still looking at body language? And he's walking to your corner.
When he got dropped by Klitschko, he went on one leg and done that. So I looked at all this and I could see it's not time yet, you know. So I thought, okay, cool. And now the 1-2 land.
Straight 1-2.
Look at the blood from his face.
Yeah. Straight away.
Mate, his lip was split. The textbook 1-2 opened him up. Cheers, lads.
Good win, professional. Honestly, it's as flawless a performance as you're gonna get. You know, you took little to no damage, controlled the fight. In times where he wanted to take the center of the ring, you kind of boxed on a back foot, but did it well countered. What would you give yourself out of 10 for that?
What I give myself out of 10? A 4. Because we're still searching for better. Now, this worked against Pulev fighting at a 4, and it may not work against the next man. Yeah. So that's why we have to raise the game. You know, this ain't about being the strongest. This ain't about being the quickest in there. It ain't about being the tallest. This is about being able to adapt. And I have to adapt each time I get in the ring. So for me, I give myself a 4 because I still got to add so many styles to my game. Because if you notice in that fight, the 1-2 may not have been landing. So I had to look for the uppercut. Yeah. Then I had to look for like certain hooks around the side. So there were so many times that I had to adapt my style, and that is the whole point of being a successful boxer now, which is not just about being, you know, the man who lifts the most, or not just about being the man who can throw, you know, on the pads. It's about being able to adjust in a fight. So that's why I give myself a 4, because I'm going through a massive transition in my game where no matter what man you put in front of me, short, tall, big, small, I'll be able to defeat them all.
You said that 4 out of 10 performance might not be enough to beat the next man. Let's address the elephant in the room. It looks like the Tyson Fury fight does happen. Can you give us any information? What are you expecting from that fight stylistically?
He can bring whatever he wants. It don't matter to me. The press conference antics, the fight antics, the hands behind the back. I love that stuff, right? That's all part of it, you know. That's his job, but my job's to close the show. You know, he's a warm-up act. He's there to do all that stuff, but ultimately my job's to close the show, and that's all that matters. For him, he said that after he fights me, maybe fight Chisora, and is ready to go off into the sunset. For me, I still got so much more I want to do in this boxing game. So the road to undisputed is part of a journey. It's not the end to the journey. So that's why I know I'll get past this fight, because I'm looking past him. I want more. This isn't where it stops. So the fight, God willing, it will be this year. I'm saying it is going to be this year because I'm going to speak into existence, and I will be victorious.
AJ, it has been a pleasure as always.
Respect.
Road to undisputed.
Yes.
We are close now.
We are close. Stay on, man. Get them Wellington boots, them mountain boots, because we're going to get back on the road again soon.
Stay locked to JD. We'll be back after the next fight.